Hello and welcome to Monday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and an absolutely bizarre looking puzzle today. This has been sent over by the testers. It's called Unique Sum Sudoku. You can see it's not very large, a 4x4 grid. I have read the rules once, and I sort of think I might not have to do Sudoku in this puzzle. It's by I Love Sleeping, which is a new name to me, and Myxo, which is a terrifying name to me. Myxo is a complete genius. I Love Sleeping has an amusing name. I think we all love sleeping. But the idea of this is you fill it in. So say you filled in this row with a particular total. Every row, every column and every box has to add to the same number, but you're not told what the number is. But you can never repeat the same combination of digits. So if this was 1, 4, 6, 7, no other row or column could contain 1, 4, 6, 7 in any order, which is weird, which means that you literally can't do Sudoku in the sense that, you know, if you found there was a 6, 7 here, you couldn't put the 6, 7 here. You mustn't put the 6, 7 here if this was 1, 4, because it would break. So, this one is already, sometimes you just feel your brain's just gone, that side of it's just gone against that side of it. That's what this is sort of feeling like it's doing to me. I've got no idea how hard it is either. No, I really haven't. I mean, the thought of a puzzle this small being really difficult, I suppose it could be difficult, but I don't know. We'll have to have a go in a minute, and we'll see how we get on. Now, I've got loads of things to tell you about. Well, there's a bonus video on the channel today. 10:30 this morning, we released a video in which I tackle a star battle puzzle that featured at the end of Numberphile's recent video. So Numberphile, fantastic channel. Obviously, I mean, you all know about Numberphile. you just must do. A massive channel, massive maths-based channel, and sort of with a bit of comedy thrown in. At the end of their video, they presented a star battle puzzle, which actually had been created by Jane Street. Lots of you said, can you show us how to do the star battle puzzle? Well, I tried to do just that, and it's a very good puzzle, actually. So check that video out. I will try and remember to put a link on the screen. My tongue got tied. I want to give a shout out to Michael Matter. Yesterday I did a puzzle by a constructor called GB Pack, and I exposed my deep ignorance for especially American football during the introduction. I apologise for that to anyone I offended. But Michael Matter's comment made me laugh. I just about understood it. Michael Matter wrote that his favourite part of American football is when the shortstop gets the icing penalty, which for some of you will you know. I get it. Okay. Anyway, what else? I've got birthdays to do. Oh, quick mention of the book. If you do want to get a copy of the physical, get hold of the physical copy of our new book, Cracking the Cryptic's Greatest Hits Volume 2, there's a link under the video. We are about to order the final, the print run. So there will only be, at that point, a certain number of books available. So if you would like to make sure that you bag a copy, do try and get your order in ASAP. Quick shout out to Andrew for your kind email, Andrew. Andrew is deployed overseas in an air force. I'm not sure if I meant to mention which one, so I won't. But we really appreciate getting emails where we make differences to people's lives, however small. So Andrew, thank you for writing to us. And different Andrew, it's your birthday today. I know this because your partner Paula wrote to us, and I think I might have announced the birth of your daughter Adelaide a little while ago. But Andrew, apparently you are an incredible partner and father, says Paula. So Andrew, happy birthday. I hope you have lots of chocolate cake today. Carly, it's your birthday today. I know this because your husband Michael wrote to us. Apparently, Carly, you're not a huge fan of Sudoku, but you do enjoy our videos. Apparently, Mark and my voices are less grating than Agad Mehta's voice. Shots fired. Anyway, Michael says that you're an amazing mother and wife, and you've got 2 little girls, I know, 2 and 3, who, when they hear the cracking the cryptic music, they shout "Dada Show," which is rather lovely. John, it's your 33rd birthday today, which means it is your Hobbit coming of age birthday. Many congratulations on reaching that fine threshold in life. A chemistry professor over there in Virginia. Fantastic. We have a lot of professors who watch the channel. It is completely it gives me imposter syndrome if I think about it for too long. And then finally, Spencer. Spencer, it's your 25th birthday today. And I know this because your partner, Aisha, wrote to us and said you might appreciate a shout out. I hope you do. I hope you have a great birthday with lots of cake. And that's all the news. So we're going to turn our attention to I Love Sleeping and Myxo's unique sum Sudoku. These are the rules. Let me put my fingers on the keyboard. Right, first line. Normal Sudoku rules do not apply. Fill the grid with the digits 1 to 9, such that no digit repeats in any row, column or box. Okay, well that's sort of normal, isn't it? The set of digits in each row or column is unique. E.g., if a row contains the digits 1, 2, 3 and 4, no other row or column may contain exactly those digits. The digits in every row, column and box sum to x, where x has to be determined by the solver. Hello, Maverick. Maverick flying past as usual. Digits separated by an x sum to 10. So we've got some dominoes here. Digits separated by a v sum to 5. And not all x's and v's are necessarily given. So it's perfectly possible for those 2 squares, for example, to add up to 5 or 10 just because there is no v or x between them. That doesn't preclude that. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, how do you do a puzzle like this? I haven't got a Scooby-Doo. We've got okay. All right, I've got one thing for you. Those V's are not... They're not the same, are they? Well, when I say they're not the same, I mean there are 2 ways of making 2 cells in Sudoku add up to 5. 1, 4 and 2, 3. Well, imagine these were both 1, 4. The problem is that cell, I think, because that cell is contributing to column 3 and to row 1. So whatever that was, let's make it 6. That cell now and that cell have to be the same number. Because whatever x is, obviously this row adds up to x, this column adds up to x. We've got, yeah, maybe that's the way to think about it. You can't have any row or column in this puzzle can't have 3 digits the same. Now, because the 4th digit will axiomatically then be the same, and you'll have a repeated row or column's set of digits. Now, I'm just mulling whether or not if you have 2 digits, I think 2 digits the same feels actually fine. Let me just think about that for a moment. So if that was 1, 4, for example, is that necessarily broken? Let's say that we're going up to, I don't know, 15. 15 is the value of n or x. This would add up to 10. This would add up to 10. But that could be done in lots of different... Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. All right, so all we're learning so far is that this V, let's give it a colour. I'll use orange and blue because they're the colourblind friendly colours from our palette. These cannot be the same composition. Which, right, okay, so that digit is not 1, 2, 3 or 4. That digit is 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 by Sudoku because it sees both flavours of 5 domino. Right. Right, but now that digit and that digit are the same, aren't they? Yeah, they are. That is true. Okay. This is weird. This is a weird puzzle. So if you can't see why that's the case, by the way, just pause the video and think about it for a moment or two, because I think it is I think it's clear. But I don't know how obvious that is. To me it seemed okay, but if you look at the way you get this is by focusing on that sort of rule of 3 digits type thing. Whatever this is, those 3 digits add up to, let's say, A. And those 3 digits add up to A as well, because, you know, we know these are adding up to 5, so once you add this digit in, you're going to get the same total for these 3 and for these 3. So whatever this is, that must be the same, otherwise this row and this column wouldn't add up to the same number. So what does that mean? It would be nice to know. It would be nice to know how big or little. Maybe that's the point. We've got to think about. Yeah, I am actually going to pencil mark, I think, because I can see that an X domino has 2 components. It's got one low digit, by which I mean a 1, 2, 3, or 4, and one high digit, a 6, 7, 8, or 9. So I want to see whether I can. The fact that that's a high digit. These are low digits. Let's just put that in. Let's not be proud. Now I've got an X domino here and an X domino here. But oh, okie dokie. This is such a strange puzzle. It's mad. There's sort of a set thing going on. That digit's the same as that digit now, isn't it? Because this box adds up to, is it X it's described as? That box adds up to X. That's true, isn't it? And this column adds up to X. But those 3 digits are in box 2, and the same 3 digits are in column 3, so that digit must be the same as that digit, which means that that digit is high. There we go. I don't know if this is how you're meant to do this. I suspect that there is a sort of pure way of thinking about this, but I haven't, has not occurred to me yet. So, right, so now we have a floor. Yeah. Okay, so now I can floor the value of X in the sense that it's a bit complicated. Maybe I have to change what I'm calling X, because I've got these X dominoes. And I'm going to say it's N. I'm going to say N is the value of a complete row, column, or box in this puzzle. Now look at this row. I've got 5 there, plus at least a 5 and a 6. So I'm heading up to at least 16. So N is at least 16, we now know. I don't know if that's a good thing to know, but it is true. No, N is at least 17, I've just discovered, because there's an X there, plus 6 plus 1, that would be the minimum. So X is now at least 17. And the maximum value of X is is 23. I had 4 here, 9 here, and that added up to, well, that does add up to 10. But that would be the maximum. So 17 and 23 are the sort of boundaries of N. Right. Oh yeah, and that digit are the same. Yes, okay, so that's a blue digit. So, sorry, I'm not seeing what I have to do now. Oh no, this is bad as well, because I realise I'm probably just going to stop speaking altogether. It's not like there's a... Is it that cell? Do I know what that cell is? Can I prove that that's high or something? What did we say? 17 was the minimum, but if... So that's 10. No, that doesn't have to be high. At least I don't think it... Oh, no, it does. Yeah, sorry, no. That's easy. That's an easy deduction. Yeah, this cell sees all colours of 1, 2, 3 and 4. So that is... Well, it's 5 or more is what we can say. It's very peculiar, this, because if you sort of stare at a cell long enough, you can find out things about it. And there aren't that many cells to look at, so I think... I don't know now. I presume I've got to use this somehow, but I don't... How do you do that? Yeah, okay. That's not 5. Right. There's the same thing, I think, that I did over here. I can sort of do here, can't I? It's a set type analysis where this column adds up to n, and this box adds up to n, and these two digits are in common between those two things, aren't they? These two digits here are in this column and they're in this box. But we know the remainder of this column definitely adds up to 10. So those digits must add up to 10. So that digit can't be a 5 because this is a 1, 2, 3 or 4. And there's sort of a surreptitious X between these two cells that we can't... Well, I might be able to... Hang on. Can we put... No. Let's put that in there to tell us that these two cells have an X between. They add up to 10. Yeah, okay. So now there are lots of different 10 dominoes in this puzzle. Because this adds up to 10, but we know that orange is not blue. That adds up to 10. And this adds up to 10, but we know this digit and this digit are obviously different. So there's 3 different flavours of 10 dominoes now that we've got in the puzzle. Yeah, okay, and there's another hidden X down here, isn't there? But from these two squares being the same. Yes, there is. So this is an X. And what we'll do is we will label up those two are those two are sort of the complement of each other. They add up to 10. These add up to 10. These add up to 10. I wanted to make that C. So these are C. These are B. These are A. This one I'm going to call D. And D, we haven't found its friend yet. I wonder if it has to be that one. So do we know these two add up to 10 somehow or other? If those added up to 10, then the top of the grid, those cells would all be different digits. And they would add up to a number that we should know. They would add up to 40. So n would be 20. If that is, well, do we know? Oh, come on. What do we know about this value? Do we know anything definitive about it? Yeah, we do actually. I do know some things about this digit. I know it's not A or B. And it's clearly not C. Yes. Alright, let's have a think about this digit. Because... Right, what I was trying to do a moment ago was to wonder whether or not these two were complementary, i.e. whether I could write that in. And I don't know the answer to that yet. But I think I do know that whatever value this has, it is one of two things. It is either 5 or it is the complement of D that adds up to 10 with whatever D is. And the reason I think that must be true is that the only other options for this would be to be the complement of A, the complement of B, or the complement of C. And it can't be the complement of A, because if those two digits are the same, that would imply, by mathematics, these two are common, aren't they? So those two are the same, so these two should be the same. But we know definitively that these two are different because they have different, you know, that B and C are definitely different numbers, and they each add up to 10 with a different, you know, they must add up to 10 with different numbers. So if that's A, that has to be B, and it also has to be C, and that's a paradox. So that's not A. By the same token, it's clearly not B, because then that would have to be A, and that's broken as well. So this is not A or B, and it's not C. So it's either the complement of D, or it's 5. Right, and if it is the complement of D, let's think about the maths again. Then we would know... Yeah, okay, so it's right. So actually what we now know is that the top two rows of this puzzle contain 8 different numbers. Whatever whether this is the complement of D or not. If it's the complement of D, it's a different number to anything we've put in anywhere else. And if it's 5, it's a different number to anything we've put in anywhere else. And all these other numbers are definitely different. So I think we're going to find n is 20 here, because it's such a beautiful number. Because if this is not 5, then we know exactly what the total is of the top two rows. Because we know we've got one each of 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9 add up to 30. We've got one each of 1, 2, 3, 4. They add up to 10. So I've got the top two rows adding up to 40. And divide that by 2 to get the value of n then, because that's 2n if it's 2 rows. We get n is 20. Now if n is 20, these would add up to 15. No, that doesn't work, I don't think. Well, I might have a digit then. That doesn't work. It really doesn't work. No, okay, this is 5, because if this is not 5, n is 20, and n can't be 20 from either this row or this column. Because if n was 20, and those are adding up to 10, these have to be the complement of each other. And that's from C, and that's from A, so that's not going to work. And the same is true here, look. These would have to add up to 20. Well, that's adding up to 10, so these would have to add up to 10, and B and D are definitely from different, you know, these are different numbers, so that doesn't work. Right, so the only way this can now work, this is bad in a way. It's good because we're going to get a digit, but it's bad because now the value of n is far more opaque. Because we've proved that this is 5 now, it just cannot be 6, 7, 8 or 9. But the bad thing is that now we have no idea. We know these are all different numbers, but we don't know which high digit is being left out of the top two rows. We know that we know these have to add up to an odd number, don't we? I think. Because overall these two rows have got to add up to an even number, otherwise we are in trouble. So imagine this set of digits was 7, 8, 9, for example. Then we'd have 29 plus 10 is 39, and that would make n equal to 19.5, and that's not going to work. So we have to include one odd number only. So we know that these three digits definitely include 6 and 8 now. And 1 of 7 and 9. And we still don't, poor old D, we don't know where its complement lives, or indeed if it lives in the puzzle. I wonder if this puzzle has to have all the digits in it. Oh, I suspect the Sudoku theorists are going to have an absolute ball with this. I am not at all sure. I don't quite understand what I'm meant to do now. Well, I suppose if this is 5, 10, okay. Alright, no, we've got rid of several values of n now. So originally I said n was 17 to 23, but actually a lot of those have disappeared, haven't they? Because now those three digits add up to 10. And even if I add 9 to that, I only get to 19. So we're on 17, 18 or 19 now for our values of n. 17, 18 or 19. So we can't have... Right, so in this column, I cannot put anything into this square or this square that force this domino to add up to 10 at least, because then the column would add up to 20 at least, and it can't. The maximum value of it is 19. So that definitely can't be a 4, and that definitely can't be a 9. Either way, whatever you paired it up with, you would get a 10 domino at least here, and a 10 domino here, and the column would be too big. So that's not 4, and that's not 9. Now that's going to look... this has a little bit of a ricochet effect. So if that's not 4, that's not 1, and therefore that's not 9, because we can sort of follow these V's and X's through. Now, we also learned that that wasn't 9, so this isn't 1. So C is now not 4. That means that can't be 6. This is amazing. And now that square can't be 4. And that square can't be 6. Now, hang on. Hang on. What did we say? Well, okay, we did say there had to be 6 and 8 in these three squares. And now it's a little bit clearer. We can see that a different way. If there was no 6 in this domino here, this would add up to 7 and 8. That is, we know, is a sort of fictitious V domino because it consists of B and C, which are on a V domino. So you'd have 5, 15, that's 20, and that's too big. So there is definitely a 6 in here. So either A is 4, or that A is 4, A is sort of a 4-6 complementary pair, or B is a 4-6 complementary pair. One of those things must be true. Pregnant pause while I try and see what on earth that means. Sorry, I've got absolutely nothing here. What am I being... What am I being told as a result of that? So if this was odd, this has to be double even. If this is even, that's 6, 7 then. Oh, yeah, all right, okay. Well, look at this row again. because these two add up to 5, and this adds up to at least 6 and 7, 17 has gone as an option now, hasn't it? For the value of n, because we're adding at least 13 to at least, what, to exactly 5. So we've got 18 or 19 are the only values of n that now work. 18 and 19. 18 and 19. Come on, Simon. Come on. I'm so sorry, I've got nothing, and my brain is just giving up. I haven't really thought too much recently about the 18 or 19. Ah, that can't be 2 anymore then. Yeah, look at this column. Yeah, this might be how you have to do this. You might have to whittle away. Sort of, we're gradually learning just a little bit more about n and things like that. Now, if this was 2 now, that would make this column add up to 17, which I think we've disproved from this row. So I think that B is not now 2. So that's not now 8. And if that's not 2, this isn't 3. So this isn't 7. So that isn't 7, and that isn't 3. And we stick again. These are the same, so you can't have either of these digits down here. But this is what's so weird. It is anti-Sudoku in the sense that normally, obviously, you'd be saying, okay, those 2 digits have to go down here by Sudoku, but it's a weaker constraint as a result, because I'm only learning that digit, which I don't even know what it is, can't go down here, and 5 can't go down here. Otherwise, this column and this column would be the same. Okay, so we know that x here is not a d or a bx, don't we? So this is an a or a cx, in the sense that, because obviously if this was d, if this was the d and if this obviously included this digit, it's broken. There's 2 of d in this column. It can't have that digit in here either. So the d and b versions of x are not there. This is an a or a c version of x. Let's put that in. A or c. And if it's c, then you get a little 2 by 2 of c there, which is normally not allowed in shading puzzles. Why is that not allowed? You then have to be... Well, no, that doesn't work. That definitely doesn't work. That's beautiful. It's really obvious as well. You can't... these can't be the same digits as these. Let me just show you. Imagine this was 1, 9, and then we said, okay, well, this is the same combination adding up to 10. That would be 9 and 1. Well, what do we put there? Doesn't matter, is the point. Whatever you put there, these 2 digits become the same number by maths, because this digit contributes to this box's total and this row's total, which must be the same thing. So we're adding those 3 and those 3 numbers, so those are the same number. But if these are the same number, then in this box, that would have to go there. And then you've got this pattern. You've got that pattern. And that's the same set of digits as that is. And that's not right. So this is not a C domino. This is an A domino. But that might now have broken the puzzle, I think, because this feels like it's... I've got too many of the same digit now. Let me just think, what have I done wrong here? So I've now proved that this is A, which is this. Oh. No, okay. No, it's all right, isn't it? Because this is a box of the Sudoku. And there's nothing in the puzzle that, in fact, yeah, okay, I could have seen this from over here. There's nothing in the puzzle that says you can't have a repeated box collection of digits in a row or column. And indeed here you can see that these two digits are the same as those two. So the collection of digits that makes up those 4 cells is the same exact set of digits that makes up these 4 cells. And that's okay, because the only stipulation in the instructions, he says, triple checking this, yeah, no other row or column may contain these exact digits. So it's all right for A to appear down here, and thereby making this set of digits the same as this set of digits, because you can repeat a row or column's digits in a box, if that makes any sense. Now, it's quite difficult. It's not actually quite impossible, but it's quite difficult for the high A digit to go there. I mean, if the high A digit went here, it couldn't be 8, could it? Because these would add up to 17, and we know that N is either 18 or 19, so we couldn't make these small enough. These must add up to at least 3. So it could that could be a 6 or a 7 there. Sorry, that's probably not actually very interesting. We know there's a 6 in here, don't we? But we still don't actually know. We must be able to work out N now, surely. N is 18 or 19. Right, okay. Yes. Well, look at this row then. So we've got 10 here. So these two digits have to add up to 8 or 9. Oh, no, that doesn't work at all. I thought there must only be 2 ways of doing that. But no, that can be 8, because it can go with 1. It can be 7, it can go with 1 or 2, and 6 it could go with 2. This is weird. This is such a strange puzzle, because I'm sure actually that you could bifurcate it now. I think we've done. Oh, hang on. Do I know that's 1 9? No, I don't. Okay, that was my example, wasn't it? Down here, I was suddenly thinking, I've done it. Why have I not just filled the puzzle in? Okay. But I think you probably could bifurcate it from now. Probably around that digit. I mean, if that's 7, you know that has to be 6, because one of these has to be 6, and then you'd know that would be 8. And it either works or it doesn't from there. But of course, the one thing I will never allow myself to do is bifurcate. I'm not doing that. Well, and that's mostly because constructors of this quality there will be something clever to find. That's what our job is, to find the clever thing that is sitting in the puzzle somewhere. Sorry, I'm now perplexed again. That's 10, 3. It is odd in that. whatever you pick for these values, it does go through the grid very powerfully. This is definitely 5. Yeah, okay, that's not 7, I can tell you, for the most peculiar reason. If you make that 7, this row and this row add up to different numbers. Which is... yeah, it's because I'm not even sure. I mean, it's true that that's what happens because you know that these have because we know one of these is a 6, so we know if we make that 7, that's 13, and this is 18. But the problem with making this 7 is that this becomes a 4-1 pair, and that puts 9 in the corner up here, and 9 and 5 plus 5 is 19. So you get 19 there and 18 there. That's not 7. That's not 3. The problem with that is that that's not actually done anything, I don't think. I mean, it's slightly narrowed this down, but not. I haven't. What we need to do is to differentiate whether orange or blue, you know, which 5 pair they are. And I don't think it works nearly as well if you make this. No, it sort of works whichever other option you go for. 6, 2. Yeah, it comes out correct. Yeah, that's weird. It's very peculiar, this. Maybe I can do better down here then. I mean, I still have the high option of 8 available here, so which can't go. We know if this was 8, that would have to be 8. I suppose, actually, the A domino that adds up to 10 is only even numbers now. So I might as well put that in. This has got to be either 2, 8 or 4, 6. And we know that this bottom one is not 8. So we know that one's not 2. Because we can't make this. If that's 6, 4, no, it's fine, isn't it? It just does not have the same potency. Yeah, I think what I'm missing here is how... there must be a way of knowing what the value of n is. And unfortunately... I don't know how to do it. I need to find a way. What do I need to do? How do we do this puzzle at this point? How long have I had? 43 minutes. Well, that's... yeah, it's quite a hard 4x4. There may not be many cells to fill, but actually I've got 1 digit so far. And I haven't really got a clue how I'm going to get the next digit. 7. I mean, whatever you pick for this digit, it does then determine everything in terms of the value of n. By which I mean, if you pick 6 here, then you know that n is immediately 18. And if you pick 8 here, you know it's immediately 19. Okay. Okay, and we know those add up to 10, so we know that this domino... Yeah, so the way that these 2 digits interact might be important, because we can't, if this was a 1, you have to combine it with the 7, because otherwise you're going to get an invalid total for this column. You're going to get 17, which is wrong. And if that's a 3, you can't combine that with the 7. So this is either 1 7 exactly, or 3, 6 exactly, depending on what the value of this is. 1, 7 or 3, 6. And if that's 3, 6, that forces that to be 2, 8, which would have to be in a specific order. Let me just think about that for a second. If this is, so what we're saying here is if n is 19, so that's 8, we go 8, 2, which is 8, 2, 3, 6, 8, 2. That really restricts this domino, because then this box has to add up to 19 if we're in 3, 6 land up here. But this is an 8, this is a 2, so 1, 8 and 2, 7 are off the cards, and you can't make that 3, 6 in this case, because then this column's digits would be 3, 6, 2, 8, or 3, 6, 8, 2 exactly, and this one's would be 2, 8, 3, 6, which is the same set of digits, so that has to be 4, 5. I'm just going to try that the other way. So if on the other hand this is 6, we're saying, then we're heading up to 18. So we need these to add up to 8. Yeah. Well, okay. There's always a 5 in this domino. I can tell you that for nothing. Because if this is 6 and we're heading up to 18 as the total, then this domino has to add up to 8, but it can't use 6, so it can't be 2, 6, and it can't be 1, 7, because if this was 1, 7, this column's composition is the same as this column's composition, because in the world where n is 18, we know this is a 1, 7 pair. So this is going to be 1, 7, 6, 4 in some order, and this would then be 1, 7 down here and 6, 4. So you have to, so this domino is either 3, 5, or 4, 5, and it definitely has 5 in it, which yeah, but that digit, what we're actually saying here is that digit never appears down here, so we're not going to get the same composition here, even though there's a 5 down here that we're having in this row. So it doesn't, I don't think it disambiguates that way. Brain explodes. Brain's being twisted that way, now it's getting twisted back the other way. How do you do this? I don't know. There's going to be an option either probably down here that doesn't work for some reason, but how on earth I'm meant to see what that reason is, I don't know. It's more forcing if this has got a 4 in it. If this has got a 4 in it, I know the exact way this works. That has to be a 2, because I know this is then 2, 8, and I know the 2 has to go at the bottom. And that, what time is it? Oh goodness. If this is 4, 5, 2, 8 here, 8, 2 here, three, 6 here, my goodness only knows what's going on down there then. I don't know. Are we meant to, is it meant to be obvious to us how that works? Let me mull that over for a moment or two. If this is, we know these are 9s in that iteration of the world. Those two are the same as those two. Is that right? Actually, maybe that's not right. Hang on. If that's 9, what we're actually saying is that adds up to 9, aren't we? I think. Although I'm sort of losing track of this. So if that's 4, 5, we know we're in 19 land, which means this is 3, 6. Which means this is 8 and this is 2. So this is 8 and this is 2. Yeah, so those two digits and those two digits are the same. And they add up to 11. Wow, that doesn't work. Wow. Okay, I've got something and I can see it, but it is very difficult to see. This is right on the right at the limit of what I consider, like, I don't think it's bifurcation because I've done it in my head, but it's very hard to understand. Let me explain what I'm noticing. So I'm thinking about the fact that if I do put a 4 in this domino, everything, not only does this get resolved as being 2, 8, but I know exactly where the 2 and the 8 go. And you can see, because we can't make this 8, because this row would add up to too much. This has to be 2. But because we're in 4, 5 world, this is 8, and this is 6, and this is 4, and this is 1. So purple is 9, you have to remember, in this world. In fact, why don't I do it? Because, I mean, I've seen it, so I'm going to show you. I think that's going to be simpler. I'm just going to go through. So 2, 8 goes here. That's the first thing. This is going to be 8, 2. This is now 3. We know we needed a 6 in this domino, so that's going to be 6, 4, 1, 1, 9, 9. Okay, so we'd be in this world. But the reason I've seen this breaks is look at the top row now. We have 2 and 9 here. And look at this row. We've got 2 and 9 here. How are we going to fill these two digits in? And that's the question. We're adding up to 19. So what we can't do is put 4 in the corner. It won't work because we're going to need another 4 in this corner then. So that 4, in fact, what that's going to mean is that's 4, but that's not really the point. The point is that this digit is now one of these digits, and that cannot be. We said right at the start, you can't have 3 of the same digit in any row or column of this puzzle because the 4th digit will axiomatically be the same, and therefore you're going to repeat a row or column's exact composition. So you're going to have to put 3, 5 here, and this row are going to be the same. And actually, while I see it now, you can see there might have been a way of getting at it, because that's going to be a 6 in this instance, because we've got 3 common digits in row 2 as well. So maybe there was an easier way to see it, using row 2, row 3 also forced to be the same in this iteration. I don't know. Okay, but that's... so where were we? We were here, and we've proved that there's no 4 in here. And that's going to be massive, I think. Because the moment that I can eliminate 4 from in here, I know the value of n finally. It is, I believe, now 18. We can get rid of the 5 from here, and we know that if we're heading up to 18, we know this is going to be a 1-7 pair. Let's think about slowly how we do this. We've worked out n is now 18, so how are we going to make this row add up to 18 if these add up to 5? These have to add up to 13, so they're going to have to be a 6-7 pair. So let's do it. 6, 7. That makes this 4, this 1 by V dominoage, that 3, that 2 by being different V dominoage, this 8, and the puzzle's getting filled in. We know this is a 4-6 pair from the work we did on A before. So this is 4, 6. I mean, if this still resists now, I'm going to cry. I actually might cry. Okay. Let's pause. Okay, and think about what is going on. Right, okay, so what's this now adding up to? Because this is adding up to 8, isn't it? In order to make this box add up to 18. And it's not got 2, 6 in it. And if it had I was about to say if it had 3... No, it can't have 3, 5 in it, because then this column and this column would be the same. So that's got to be 1, 7, I think. And therefore, and now we can use the fact this is 8 to think about the bottom row. Because if this was 7, this would add up to 15, and then these would need to be very, very low to get us up to 18. So that can't work. So that's going to have to be 1. That's going to have to be 7. And then, okay, so where are we now? Right, this is still clever at this point. This is remarkable, this puzzle, because now look at this. I've got 9 here. I know these have to add up to 9. Now, if I did pick 6 and 3, which is an absolutely valid combination, that row and that row are the same. That makes me think I've missed a subtlety here, because that is exactly the same problem we were running into. So yes, okay, so if this 1, 8, 4, 5, yeah, if this is 4, 5, that row and that row are the same. So I suspect back when we were thinking about it, there might have been a way of showing that certain permutations led to repeated combinations in rows. Always. Although the weird thing is that, of course, forcing, we now know this is not 6, 3, because it would be the same as this, so it's 4, 5, which actually is going to give me a 3 in the corner. I'll do that. Look at this. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Yeah, but this version, it doesn't have a repeated digit, so maybe I couldn't have done it. I'm not sure. I'm not at all sure that where I was sort of stuck and having to visualize things, I don't know whether I could have foreseen that one version only didn't cause a repeat. What a fascinating puzzle. That is a weird... I'm just staring at it now because I'm worried that I have got a repeated collection of digits anyway. It's not impossible, is it? I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. That doesn't necessarily mean it's not there. If I click tick, it might tell me. The solution is correct. That's the easy way of doing it. Solve count. 65 people have solved that. Well done. Well done, because that to me felt really difficult. Really difficult. It's a fascinating puzzle. And I thought it might play to my strengths in that it involved almost no Sudoku. But in fact, it turns out that almost no Sudoku is a bit like Sudoku. It's still quite hard when it's thinking about things like this. It's a weird and wonderful creation. That I did really enjoy it. I'm sort of relieved to get through it, frankly. Let me know in the comments how you got on with it. Let me know if I missed something. I fear I might have done. Yeah, and you clever folk will no doubt let me know. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.